there. As I started to take the phone away from my face to hang it up, I heard a huge crack. And this big flash of light came out of the phone and it hit me right in the face and just threw me back like a rag doll. And as it threw me back, I had the strangest sensation of moving forward. And I remember standing there going, this doesn't make any sense. I know I saw the lightning. I knew I'd been hit and I knew I'd been thrown backwards. But now I'm standing here and nothing's making sense. And I look at the phone and the phone's dangling. And I'm just standing there, just absolutely bewildered. And at that point, I hear my mother-in-law screaming, and she's at the top of the stairs. I'm at the bottom of the stairs. And she starts running down the stairs, headed right at me. And I thought, this can't be good when your mother-in-law's running at you, screaming, there's something's bad. As she got down in front of me, she was looking off to her left. And I thought, this is really strange. And it's like I wasn't even there. And I'm like, what the hell? And I turned to go where she's going, and I took about 3 steps, and I run into myself on the ground. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm dead. And it was such a shock. I fully expected that when you died, there would be some sort of anything. Something would happen to tell you. You know, bells, whistles, who knows what. But there would be some sort of a signal that, hey, buddy, you're dead. But there wasn't. It was just a very natural progression of I was in this state this second, and the next second I was someplace else. I went from being in a physical form to being in a spiritual form. There was a lady who was waiting to use the phone. She gets down to start doing CPR. Turns out she's a nurse. And I'm standing there and I'm trying to call out to anybody who will listen. And I don't see, you know, I can see all of them, I can hear all of them, but nobody can see or hear me. And then it occurred to me that I'm standing here and I'm thinking exactly the way I normally would. I have complete control of my mind, and I'm thinking in the vernacular and the way that I normally would think, and I'm having these massive racing thoughts are going through my head trying to make sense of this whole thing. But I realized at that moment that whoever I am, I always am. And there's no such thing as death. And, you know, my spirit or whoever I was is eternal. And that was probably the first big thing realization that came to me as this whole thing unfolded, was that my spirit is here forever. So we're essentially two people. You know, we're in this body, which is nothing more than a costume over the top of who we are always, and in our spirit form. And you know, when I went up to the body and I looked at it, and it seemed to be very dispassionate about it. It was like, that's me, but it's not. You know, I'm me. I'm still who I always was, and that's nothing but an empty shell. And that was pretty earth-shaking. It was not a frightening experience. It was, you know, it was just very matter-of-factly, this is the way things really are. And then I thought, well, there's no point in standing here because nobody can see me or hear me. And I turned around and I start to walk toward the stairs, and I'm going to go up the stairs and check on my family. And I started up the stairs and I got to about the 3rd step, and I'm looking down at the ground, and I start to see my legs dissolve. And I thought, well, okay, this is getting really weird. And as I got to the top of the stairs, I had lost all form. I was just a ball of energy. The stairs When you get to the top of the first level, it goes up another few steps to the left. And I didn't bother with that. I had no form. I just went through the wall. And when I came out on the other side of the wall, I came out right over the top of my wife, who was sitting painting children's faces. And I remember taking a picture in my head of who was there, what kids were there, how the furniture was arranged, and what order the kids were standing in. And that became an important issue later on when we were comparing notes, and I was able to say all these things that verified the fact that, yeah, I did see it, and I was there.